The Fed has a 2% inflation target. That is on PCE inflation, not CPI.
Right.
There's a little, we can go through the differences, the major differences. It turns out right now center on the very categories where things are acting weird. So there has been a bit of a gap between CPI and PCE inflation. As I always say especially about inflation, 1 month is no months. So let's not get amped up when you get 1 month of CPI that was higher than what you expected it to be. Just like in a previous month, we had a period where the inflation rate is coming in at 1.5%. So actually below the target. You want to measure in 3 month, 6 month, 12-month increments. If you do that, it's totally clear that inflation is coming down. We've had 6, 7 months in a row of the new flow rate of inflation has been very close to target or approaching the target. And the thing about core inflation, the Fed tends not to look at energy and food prices, which drives my mom crazy. She's like, what do you mean you don't look at energy and food prices? Those are my only prices. But it's because they're so variable that we feel like the better measure of what the trajectory is to look at this core inflation of PCE, and that's 3 parts: services, housing, goods. Before COVID, we were at 2%, even a little below 2% for an extended period. And that wasn't 2% inflation in each of the categories. It's important to remember that. Goods inflation was minus 1% deflation, if it's minus deflation.
Minus
1% deflation. Yeah. Housing was 3 to 4%, and services 2 to 3% on a steady basis. And those combined is how we got to 2. What we've seen now coming out of it, goods inflation back to deflation. Services we thought was going to be extremely persistent has actually come down. And the puzzle is that housing inflation has not come down as we expected yet. Now, we still think it's going to, because if you look at the market, it's a slow-moving compilation of actual market rents. And if you go look at the market rents data, that inflation is down. But this last, was it yesterday, 2 days ago, yesterday, the housing number was surprisingly large. Mm-hmm. And so we still face that puzzle. And I can only speak for anybody else on the committee, but I watch that housing quite a lot, because that's the kind of the puzzle piece to get us. If we're going to go back to what the composition of inflation was before, the part that's the most out of whack now is still the housing.